The icy water churned beneath the surface, a swirling tempest that mirrored the turmoil in Mira's heart. As a mother seal, her instincts drove her to protect her cub with an intensity that coursed through her very being. She had always been the vigilant guardian, teaching her little one the ways of the sea, where danger lurked amidst the playful waves. Today, however, the ocean had transformed into a raging beast, and she was powerless against its fury. Mira's sleek body glided through the frigid depths, her whiskers quivering with the sharp bite of the storm. She could hear the haunting cries of her cub, lost somewhere in the chaos, and each sound pierced through her like a harpoon. The relentless winds howled around her, drowning out her desperate calls as she searched for the small, dark form that had been her entire world. Her mind raced, recalling the countless moments of joy they had shared. Playful splashes, sun-soaked naps on rocky shores, and the tender nudges that signaled a lesson learned. Now, all of that stood on the precipice of being lost. With every powerful wave that crashed down, a part of Mira's hope was swept away. She darted between the frothy crests, her breath quickening with each pulse of fear. She could sense the pull of the current, a treacherous swirl that threatened to tear her away from her cub. Yet, the bond between them was tenacious, a thread woven from love and instinct that urged her to push forward. She would not abandon him. As she fought against the relentless tide, the storm's rage intensified, whipping the water into a frenzy. Mira's sleek body was buffeted by the powerful waves that seemed to conspire against her. She could taste the salt on her tongue, a bitter reminder of the ocean's unpredictable nature, and in that moment, she realized just how fragile her world was. Each moment stretched into eternity, and the frantic rhythm of her heart echoed in her ears as she called out again, her voice barely rising above the cacophony of the storm. Meanwhile, a few hundred feet away, the ocean's turmoil was not lost on a lone diver, Jack. He had come to the water that day, not just for adventure, but to capture the beauty of marine life beneath the surface. Armed with his camera, he descended into the depths, eager to explore the hidden wonders of the sea. But as he submerged himself, a sudden shift in the water caught his attention. The waves roared with a ferocity he had rarely witnessed, and his instincts kicked in. Something was wrong. Through the swirling foam, he spotted something small and dark, an unmistakable shape struggling to stay afloat. Jack's heart raced as he realized it was a seal pup, floundering and separated from its mother. The sight sent a jolt through him, igniting a fierce determination. He had always felt a profound connection to the ocean and its creatures, and now, faced with this fragile life in peril, he knew he couldn't stand by. With a powerful kick, Jack propelled himself towards the struggling cub, the icy water biting into his skin. He could feel the strength of the currents pulling at him, a reminder of the danger that lay ahead. But as he swam closer, he caught sight of a larger silhouette nearby. Mira, the mother seal, her eyes wide with fear and desperation. The bond between them was palpable, a silent communication that transcended words. Jack could sense her anguish, and it spurred him on. The pup struggled, its small flippers paddling frantically against the onslaught of waves that threatened to engulf it. Jack reached out, his hand brushing against the sleek, wet fur of the cub. The connection was electric, a moment of recognition that seemed to freeze time. In that split second, Jack understood the gravity of his task. He was not just a diver, he was a lifeline. With gentle strokes, he guided the cub toward him, his movements deliberate against the backdrop of chaos. The pup's eyes were wide, filled with a mixture of fear and instinctive trust. Jack could feel the weight of the ocean pressing in around him, but he focused on the small creature before him. The mother seal watched from a distance, her anxious gaze locked onto her cub, her heart racing with every passing moment. As they navigated the tumultuous waters, Jack felt a surge of determination. He was fighting not just for the seal pup, but for the very essence of compassion that united all living beings. The storm may have sought to tear them apart, but in this moment, he was the bridge, a human reaching across the divide of species, fueled by empathy and courage. The currents continued to lash against him, but Jack held his ground, encouraging the cub to follow him. Each stroke brought them closer to safety, and the sight of Mira looming in the distance gave him strength. He could see her desperation transforming into hope, and it propelled him forward. The bond between mother and cub was undeniable, a testament to the power of love that transcended the chaos around them. Time seemed to stretch endlessly as Jack fought against the waves, his heart pounding in rhythm with the pulse of the ocean. The storm roared louder, but he could see the shoreline beginning to take shape ahead. With every ounce of strength, he urged the cub onward, whispering words of encouragement that would never reach the creature but resonated deeply within him. Every fiber of his being was devoted to this mission, a rescue born from humanity's innate desire to protect. Finally, after what felt like an eternity battling the elements, there was a break in the waves. Jack emerged from the water, his heart racing as he clutched the cub close to him. The sand beneath his feet felt solid, a grounding reminder that safety was within reach. He turned, glancing back to see Mira swimming toward them, her eyes filled with a mixture of relief and gratitude that spoke volumes. The moment their eyes met, human and seal, mother and cub, was one of pure magic. It was a testament to the resilience of life and the unexpected bonds forged in times of crisis. Jack could hardly believe what he had just accomplished, the weight of the ocean's turmoil lifting as he guided the seal pup onto the shore. The reunion was imminent, and the anticipation hung in the air like the calm after the storm. As the cub found its footing on the sand, Mira surged forward, her sleek body gliding effortlessly through the water until she reached her little one. The two of them collided in an eruption of joy, a dance of affection that left Jack breathless. In that moment, he knew he had witnessed something extraordinary, an unbreakable connection reaffirmed against the odds. It was a moment that would not only change the course of their lives, but also ripple out into the world. A reminder of the beauty of empathy and the bonds that unite us all, no matter how different we may seem. The storm had tried to tear them apart, but it had ultimately drawn together a mother and her cub with an unexpected hero standing by, ready to share their story with the world. As Mira nuzzled her cub, their reunion was marked by a flurry of joyful barks that echoed through the air. Jack, still catching his breath, stepped back and allowed the emotional tide to wash over him. The severity of the situation melted away, replaced by the warmth of relief that flooded his heart. The sight of the mother seal wrapping her body around her cub, as if to shield him from the remnants of the storm, was a poignant reminder of the fierce love found in nature. For a moment, time stood still. It was as if the world had paused to bear witness to this incredible bond. Jack dropped to his knees on the wet sand, his camera still clutched in one hand. He instinctively began to record, capturing the intimate moment before him. Each frame became a testament to the resilience of life, the raw emotions of a mother's love, and the miracle of survival. The tiny seal pup, still trembling from the icy embrace of the ocean, pressed close to Mira's side, seeking comfort and warmth. Jack's heart swelled with a sense of purpose. He was not merely a spectator, but an integral part of this narrative, a bridge between two worlds. As he focused on the scene unfolding, Jack's mind raced with thoughts of how he would share this story. It was not just about the rescue. It was about the connection that transcended species, a reminder of the fragility of marine life and the urgent need for conservation. He envisioned the footage reaching thousands, inspiring others to appreciate and protect the ocean's inhabitants. The storm had been a fierce adversary, but it had also forged a moment of unity that he believed could spark change. Mira, her dark eyes glistening with gratitude, turned her gaze toward Jack. In that moment, their eyes locked, and an understanding passed between them, a silent acknowledgement of the role he had played in this reunion. Jack felt a rush of emotion. It was as if the ocean had conspired to bring them together, crafting a story that would resonate far beyond this sandy shore. As the waves continued to lap gently at the beach, the sun began to break through the clouds, casting a golden hue across the landscape. The storm's remnants drifted away, leaving behind a tranquil sea that shimmered like a vast blanket of diamonds. Jack rose to his feet, his legs still shaky from the adrenaline, but his spirit soared with the realization of what had transpired. In the distance, he noticed the unmistakable silhouette of a boat approaching the shore. It was part of his diving group, drawn by the intensity of the storm and the urgency of his absence. They had been searching for him, unaware of the incredible scene unfolding just beyond the waves. Jack waved his arms, his heart racing with both excitement and apprehension. He wanted to share the moment, to let them in on the magic he had just witnessed, but he also felt a protective instinct for Mira and her cub. Mira seemed to sense the shift in the atmosphere. She nudged her pup gently with her nose, encouraging him to move closer to the water's edge. For a fleeting moment, Jack feared that she might retreat back into the ocean, taking her cub with her. But instead, she turned back to him, her gaze steady and unyielding. In that moment, he felt a deep sense of respect for this creature, a wild spirit that defied the odds. The boat drew nearer, and Jack's friends began to disembark, their expressions shifting from concern to astonishment as they caught sight of the seals. Whispers of disbelief and awe spread among them, and Jack felt a swell of pride at having been a part of this extraordinary event. He motioned for them to approach carefully, mindful of the delicate bond between mother and cub. "Guys, you won't believe what just happened," Jack exclaimed, his voice tinged with excitement as he gestured toward Mira and her pup. "I found this little one struggling in the storm, and Mira was right there, watching over him. I swam in and brought him back to shore." His friends gathered around him, eyes wide with wonder. They were seasoned divers, familiar with the ocean's beauty and peril, but nothing could have prepared them for this. The moment was a vivid illustration of the wild's delicate balance and the interconnectedness of all life. They stood in awe, absorbing the significance of what they were witnessing. As the group slowly approached, Jack continued to film, capturing the expressions on their faces as they beheld the poignant reunion. Mira, ever vigilant, raised her head and surveyed the newcomers with curiosity, but she remained close to her cub, unwilling to sacrifice the safety of their bond for the sake of human presence. It was an instinct Jack understood all too well. The protective nature of motherhood was universal, transcending species boundaries. "Let's keep our distance," one of his friends whispered, her tone reverent. "We don't want to scare them." Jack nodded, grateful for their awareness. They stood together, a small crowd of humans, watching as the seals interacted, the pup now gaining confidence in the safety of its mother's presence. Jack felt a warmth swell in his chest. This was not just a moment of triumph for him, but a shared experience that connected them all. As the sun continued its ascent, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Jack's heart brimmed with hope. He imagined how this story would unfold. The footage would travel far and wide, igniting conversations about marine life, empathy, and the importance of conservation. But more than that, it was a reminder of the small actions that could lead to significant change. Each one of them, standing at the edge of the ocean, was now part of this narrative, an unbreakable bond forged in the face of adversity. Mira, sensing the atmosphere of reverence, began to move closer to the water, her cub trailing behind her. Jack felt a pang of longing, wishing for just a few more moments with them. He knew that the ocean called to them, a realm that was both home and sanctuary. But as they retreated into the surf, he understood that this was how it was meant to be. The ocean was their world, and he was merely a visitor, a protector for a fleeting moment, a witness to their incredible bond. As the seals slipped beneath the waves, Jack lowered his camera, feeling a mixture of elation and melancholy. The moment had passed, but the impact would remain long after. This was just the beginning. He would share their story, a testament to resilience, connection, and the power of empathy. Later that day, as he gathered with his friends on the boat, the air buzzed with excitement. They discussed their plans for sharing the footage, mapping out a strategy that would ensure the story reached as many people as possible. Jack felt invigorated by their enthusiasm, buoyed by the sense of purpose that had emerged from the storm. "Let's make this a movement, not just a moment," one of his friends proposed. We can partner with marine conservation groups, start a campaign to raise awareness about protecting these creatures and their habitats. Jack nodded vigorously, his mind racing with ideas. Absolutely. We can emphasize the importance of preserving their environment, highlight the threats they face, and showcase the beauty of the ocean. This isn't just about one rescue. It's about creating a ripple effect. The group brainstormed fervently, their passion igniting plans that felt both ambitious and necessary. As they connected their ideas, Jack's heart swelled with hope. He understood that while the storm had separated Mira and her cub, it had also brought forth a powerful story, a beacon of light in the darkness, a call to action for others to step up and protect the vulnerable. As they returned to shore, the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden glow over the water. Jack turned back to look at the ocean, a sense of gratitude washing over him. They had witnessed the resilience of life, the unwavering bonds of family, and the beauty of unexpected connections. And in that moment, he vowed to be a voice for those who could not speak, to advocate for the ocean's inhabitants, and to carry the message of empathy and conservation into the world. Little did he know, this was only the beginning of a journey that would not only change his life, but inspire countless others to join in the fight for marine wildlife. A testament to the idea that sometimes it takes a storm to uncover the strength within us all. As Jack stood at the water's edge, he felt the warmth of the sun wrapping around him, a contrast to the icy depths he had just emerged from. The thrill of having saved the seal pup surged through him, but it was mingled with a profound sense of responsibility. The ocean had shared with him a secret today, a glimpse into the lives of its creatures, a reminder of their fragility and the beauty of their existence. His friends, still buzzing with excitement, began to gather their gear, but Jack lingered a moment longer, his thoughts drifting back to Mira and her cub. He could still picture the way the mother had looked at him, her dark eyes reflecting a depth of emotion that transcended words. It was a connection that felt sacred, one that would forever etch itself into his memory. He knew he wouldn't be able to just walk away from this experience. It would shape his future. Once back on the boat, the group convened around a table strewn with notebooks and laptops. They began to formulate a plan, their ideas flowing freely. Jack animatedly recounted the events of the day, his voice rising with each detail as he spoke about the storm, the rescue, and the bond he had witnessed. His friends listened intently, their faces alight with inspiration. "Let's start a social media campaign," one of them suggested, tapping the keys of his laptop. "We can share the footage and tell the full story. We could even create a hashtag, something like hashtag seal rescue or hashtag ocean empathy." Jack nodded vigorously. "Yes, and we can reach out to marine conservation groups for collaborations. We should highlight the importance of protecting these animals and their habitats, showing people that every action counts. We can even organize beach cleanups to raise awareness." The enthusiasm was contagious as they brainstormed ways to engage their community. They discussed creating educational content about marine life, sharing statistics about the dangers seals faced, and providing resources for how individuals could help protect the ocean. Jack felt a spark of hope. They were not just sharing a story, they were igniting a movement. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the horizon, Jack took a moment to reflect. The day had unfolded in ways he could never have anticipated. It had started as an adventure, a chance to explore the underwater world he loved, but it had transformed into something much more significant. It was an opportunity to advocate for those who had no voice, to champion the cause of marine conservation, and to inspire others to feel the same connection he had experienced with Mira and her pup. Over the next few weeks, the group's efforts gained momentum. They shared the footage of the rescue across various platforms, and it quickly went viral. The emotional reunion between Mira and her cub resonated with viewers around the world, sparking a wave of compassion and empathy. Jack watched as people from all walks of life began to engage with their campaign, sharing their thoughts, stories, and even pledging to take action. Comments flooded in, each one a testament to the impact their message was having. "This is beautiful. Thank you for sharing this," one user wrote. "I had no idea seals were in such danger. We need to do something." Another comment read, "This reminds me of the importance of protecting our oceans. Count me in for your beach cleanup." In the midst of their growing success, Jack received a message from a prominent marine conservation organization, expressing interest in collaborating. They had seen the footage and were moved by the story, eager to partner with Jack and his friends to amplify their message further. Jack could hardly believe it. The very people he admired were reaching out to work with him. As he stood in his living room, staring at the glowing screen, he felt a sense of validation. What had started as a chance encounter in the ocean had blossomed into a movement that could lead to tangible change. He quickly gathered his friends to discuss the opportunity, their excitement palpable as they strategized how to make the most of this partnership. When the day of the meeting arrived, Jack felt a mixture of nerves and anticipation. They gathered in a small conference room, the walls adorned with images of marine life, each one a reminder of the beauty they sought to protect. As representatives from the organization entered Jack's here, tea raced. They were experienced professionals, passionate advocates for marine conservation, and he felt a sense of awe in their presence. The meeting began, and Jack shared their story, the storm, the rescue, and the overwhelming response they had received. He spoke passionately about the need for awareness surrounding marine life, emphasizing the importance of protecting their habitats. The representatives listened intently, nodding along as Jack painted a vivid picture of their journey. Afterward, the organization's director leaned forward, a warm smile on her face. "What you've accomplished in such a short time is remarkable. Your story has the potential to reach far beyond what you can imagine. We'd love to work with you to create a campaign that will inspire action on a larger scale." Jack's heart soared as they discussed plans for the partnership. They brainstormed ideas for educational workshops, beach cleanups, and social media campaigns that would engage the community and encourage individuals to take action. The director emphasized the importance of storytelling in conservation efforts, and Jack felt a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they could make a real difference. As the meeting concluded, Jack and his friends left the conference room buzzing with excitement. They were no longer just a group of friends sharing a story. They were now part of something larger, a movement dedicated to the protection of marine life and the ocean's fragile ecosystems. Weeks turned into months, and their campaign continued to gain traction. They organized educational events, inviting local schools and community members to learn about marine conservation. Jack found himself standing in front of eager faces, sharing the story of Mira and her cub, and watching as children's eyes lit up with wonder and curiosity. Each conversation felt like a small victory, a step toward fostering a sense of responsibility for the ocean. One day, while preparing for a beach cleanup, Jack received a call from a local news station. They had been following the story of the seal rescue and wanted to feature Jack and his friends on their morning show. Jack could hardly believe it. Their message was reaching more people than he had ever imagined. When the day of the interview arrived, Jack felt nervous but excited. He and his friends arrived at the studio, greeted by bright lights and cameras. As they sat in front of the host, Jack shared the story, his heart swelling with pride. He spoke about the bond he had witnessed between Mira and her cub, the importance of marine conservation, and how everyone could play a role in protecting the ocean. As the segment aired, Jack felt a rush of adrenaline. He could see the impact their story was having, the way it resonated with viewers. The host encouraged viewers to visit their website, share their experiences, and get involved in the ongoing campaign. Jack hoped that the message would inspire others to take action, to feel the same connection he had felt that fateful day in the storm. After the segment concluded, Jack received an influx of messages and comments from viewers expressing their support. Many shared their own stories of encounters with marine life and their commitment to protecting the ocean. The overwhelming response filled Jack with hope. Their message was resonating, and people were inspired to make a difference. As the campaign continued to flourish, Jack often found himself reflecting on that initial day in the storm. It had been a catalyst for change, not just for him, but for countless others who now felt empowered to protect the marine world. He had witnessed the power of empathy, the way it could transcend barriers and unite people for a common cause. One afternoon, as Jack walked along the beach, he spotted a familiar sight in the distance. It was a group of children gathered around a large poster depicting the various marine species they had learned about during one of their workshops. Jack approached, his heart swelling with pride as he overheard them discussing the importance of keeping the ocean clean and protecting its inhabitants. "Look, that's a seal," one of the children exclaimed, pointing to a drawing of a seal pup. Jack couldn't help but smile, knowing that their story had sparked curiosity and passion in these young minds. "Do you know about Mira and her cub?" he asked, kneeling down to their level. The children nodded enthusiastically, their eyes wide with wonder. They began to recount the story, their voices animated as they shared what they had learned about seals and the ocean. In that moment, Jack realized the true impact of their campaign. It was more than just a rescue story. It was a movement that had the power to inspire future generations. The bond he had witnessed between Mira and her cub had become a symbol of resilience, a reminder that compassion could drive change. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue across the beach, Jack felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. He had come full circle, from a diver witnessing a dramatic rescue to a passionate advocate for marine conservation. The journey had transformed him, igniting a fire within that would continue to burn brightly for years to come. Looking out at the ocean, Jack thought of Mira and her cub, their lives intertwined with the vast waters that surrounded them. Their story had become a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the bonds of love and empathy could prevail. And as long as there were people willing to stand up for the ocean and its inhabitants, that light would continue to shine brightly, guiding the way for a more compassionate and sustainable future. As the sun dipped lower, casting fiery hues across the sky, Jack felt the gentle breeze brush against his skin, a reminder of the vast ocean before him. The waves, once turbulent and aggressive, now lapped softly at the shore, whispering secrets of resilience and renewal. He stood in quiet reflection, fully aware of how much had changed since that fateful day when he rescued Mira's cub. The laughter of children and their animated discussions about marine life filled the air, creating a backdrop of joy that resonated deeply within him. He couldn't help but feel proud as he watched them. These young minds, filled with curiosity, were the future stewards of the ocean. They were absorbing the lessons he and his friends had worked so hard to impart. This was the ripple effect of their efforts, and Jack was determined to nurture it. "Hey, do you want to help me with a project?" Jack asked the group of children, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. The kids looked up at him, their faces lighting up with interest. "I'm planning to create a mural that celebrates marine life and the importance of conservation. I would love for you all to be a part of it." The children erupted in excited chatter, each one eager to contribute. "I can draw a dolphin," one girl exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement. Another boy chimed in, "I want to add some colorful fish." Jack felt a surge of energy as their ideas flowed, each child eager to express their creativity and passion for the ocean. "Fantastic! Let's meet here next Saturday," Jack suggested. "We can gather supplies, brainstorm our designs, and start painting. It'll be a fun way to show everyone how special our ocean is and why we need to protect it." As the children nodded in agreement, Jack felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. It was moments like these that reminded him of the real impact of his actions. They weren't just raising awareness. They were inspiring a generation to care for the world around them. The thought fueled his determination to continue his work in marine conservation. The following week, as the sun rose with golden rays, Jack and his friends set up for the mural project. They gathered paint, brushes, and large sheets of canvas, transforming a dull wall into a vibrant canvas of expression. The excitement in the air was palpable as children arrived, eager to bring their ideas to life. Under Jack's guidance, the kids began sketching images of dolphins, seals, colorful coral reefs, and schools of fish. Laughter echoed as they shared stories about their favorite sea creatures and the adventures they had experienced at the beach. Jack moved among them, offering encouragement and sharing his own stories, each one weaving a thread of connection between them. As the mural began to take shape, Jack felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. The vibrant colors danced across the canvas, each stroke reflecting the passion and enthusiasm of the children. It was more than just a mural. It was a collective expression of love for the ocean and a commitment to protecting it. As the day wore on, Jack took a moment to step back and admire the progress. The wall was alive with images, stories, and dreams, a visual testament to their shared mission. The children beamed with pride, their creations coming to life in a swirl of color and imagination. "Look at this," one boy shouted, pointing to a large, bright orange clownfish he had painted. "It's just like the one I saw at the aquarium." Jack smiled, his heart swelling with joy. "Exactly, and that's why it's so important to protect their homes in the ocean. Every creature plays a role in the ecosystem, and we need to make sure they can thrive." As they continued to paint, Jack encouraged the children to think about ways they could help marine life in their everyday lives. "What are some things we can do to keep our oceans clean?" he asked, prompting thoughtful responses. "Don't litter," shouted one girl, her voice filled with conviction. "Use less plastic," another chimed in. "Go to beach cleanups," a boy added enthusiastically. Jack nodded, impressed by their insights. "Exactly. Every little action counts, and together we can make a big difference." As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the mural, Jack knew they had created something special. The vibrant images illuminated the wall like a beacon, a reminder of their collective commitment to the ocean. It was a celebration of life and resilience, a declaration that they would stand together to protect the beauty of the marine world. In the weeks that followed, the mural became a focal point for the community. It attracted attention from passersby, sparking conversations about marine conservation and the importance of protecting marine life. Jack and his friends organized informational sessions where they shared their knowledge, empowering others to take action. The mural not only served as a beautiful work of art, but also a catalyst for change. Local schools began scheduling field trips to learn about marine conservation, and community members joined Jack's beach cleanups in increasing numbers. They were all coming together for a common cause, united by the bond they shared with the ocean. One day, while leading a beach cleanup, Jack received an unexpected message. It was from the Marine Conservation Organization he had collaborated with months ago. They wanted to feature the mural in their upcoming campaign, highlighting the power of community engagement and youth involvement in conservation efforts. Jack's heart raced with excitement. This was an opportunity to showcase their work on a larger platform, amplifying their message and inspiring even more people to join the cause. He quickly rallied his friends and the children who had helped create the mural, sharing the thrilling news. As they gathered to discuss the campaign, Jack felt a sense of pride wash over him. The journey had come full circle, starting from a single rescue to a movement that had brought together a community and inspired countless individuals to take action. It was a testament to the power of connection, empathy, and the belief that everyone has a role to play in protecting the planet. When the day of the campaign launch arrived, excitement buzzed in the air. They set up a small stage near the mural, adorned with colorful banners and decorations that reflected their mission. The community came out in full force, eager to witness the celebration of their collective efforts. Jack stood before the crowd, his heart pounding with anticipation. As he looked out at the faces before him, children, families, friends, he felt a wave of gratitude. They were all there for a shared purpose, united by their love for the ocean. "Thank you all for being here today," Jack began, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. "What started as a simple rescue has blossomed into something incredible. Together, we've created a movement that celebrates the beauty of our ocean and the importance of protecting it." The crowd erupted in applause, and Jack's heart swelled with pride. He shared stories of the mural, the children's creativity, and the impact it had made in their community. He urged everyone to continue their efforts, reminding them that their actions, no matter how small, could create ripples of change. As the launch unfolded, they showcased videos of the beach cleanups, interviews with participants, and testimonials from children who had been inspired by the project. Jack felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him as he watched the community come together, their collective energy radiating hope and determination. With the campaign gaining momentum, Jack knew that this was just the beginning. The story of Mira and her cub had sparked a movement that had the potential to reach far beyond their community. He envisioned a future where marine conservation was woven into the fabric of society, where every individual understood their impact on the ocean and felt empowered to make a difference. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the celebration, Jack stood at the edge of the crowd, feeling a sense of peace wash over him. He thought of Mira and her cub, the bond they had formed amid the storm, and how that connection had inspired him to take action. He knew that the ocean would always be a part of him, and he was committed to ensuring its protection for generations to come. In that moment, Jack understood that the journey was ongoing. Each wave that crashed against the shore was a reminder of the challenges that lay ahead, but he was ready to face them. He had witnessed the power of empathy, the strength of community, and the resilience of life in the ocean. And with that knowledge, he felt a renewed sense of purpose, a determination to continue advocating for marine conservation and inspiring others to join the cause. As the celebration continued, Jack looked out at the ocean, the waves shimmering under the fading sunlight. He felt a deep connection to the world around him, a sense of gratitude for the journey he had embarked upon. The storm had separated a mother seal from her cub, but it had also united a community in a shared mission. Together, they would stand as guardians of the ocean, ensuring that its beauty and life would thrive for generations to come. The bond formed in the depths of the sea would echo on the shores of their hearts, a reminder that compassion knows no bounds and that every effort made for the ocean was a step toward hope. As the evening sky deepened into shades of purple and indigo, Jack felt the energy of the celebration pulsating around him. The laughter of children, the animated conversations of friends and families, and the sound of music drifting through the air created a tapestry of joy that enveloped him. He stood at the edge of the crowd, soaking in the moment, feeling an overwhelming sense of pride in what they had accomplished together. Mira and her cub were never far from his thoughts. The memory of their reunion lingered like a warm embrace, a reminder of the fragility of life and the power of compassion. Jack knew that their story had touched many hearts, igniting a spark of awareness about marine conservation that would ripple through their community and beyond. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a final golden hue across the scene, Jack took a deep breath, savoring the salty breeze that wafted in from the ocean. He had always felt a deep connection to the sea, but now it felt more profound than ever. It was as if the ocean itself was whispering its secrets to him, urging him to continue his work, to be the voice for those who could not speak. "Jack, come on, we need you for the group photo," a friend called out, waving him over. Jack smiled and made his way through the crowd, his heart racing with excitement. This was a moment to commemorate a snapshot of their collective efforts, a testament to the power of community and resilience. As they gathered together, arms draped around one another, Jack couldn't help but reflect on how far they had come. Just a few months ago, he was an ordinary diver, immersed in the depths of the ocean, unaware that a single act of compassion would lead to such a movement. Now, he stood among friends, family, and community members, united by a shared purpose that transcended their individual lives. The camera clicked, capturing the radiant smiles and the palpable energy of hope. Jack felt the warmth of camaraderie enveloping him, a reminder that they were all in this together. Each person standing beside him had played a role in this journey, contributing their time, talents, and passion to create a brighter future for marine life. After the photo was taken, the crowd began to disperse, laughter and chatter filling the air as people made their way to the nearby food stalls and activities set up along the beach. Jack lingered a moment longer, watching as families enjoyed the festivities, children squealing with delight as they painted their faces with ocean-themed designs. "Hey, Jack," one of his friends called, pulling him from his reverie. "We're gonna have a bonfire later. You in?" Jack grinned, the invitation igniting a spark of joy within him. "Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it." As the sun vanished completely, leaving behind a blanket of stars twinkling in the night sky, Jack joined his friends around the crackling bonfire. The warmth of the flames danced against the cool ocean breeze, creating a cozy atmosphere where stories and laughter flowed freely. They took turns sharing their favorite moments from the mural project, the beach cleanups, and the campaign launch. Each story was a thread weaving together the fabric of their shared experience, a tapestry of connection that bound them to one another and to the ocean they cherished. Jack felt a profound sense of gratitude as he listened to his friends recount their journeys, each one infused with their unique perspectives and experiences. It was a reminder that they all brought something valuable to the table, and together they could achieve far more than they could alone. As the night wore on, Jack's thoughts turned to the future. He envisioned more community events, more collaborations, and a growing awareness of the importance of marine conservation. There was so much work to be done, but he felt invigorated by the support of those around him. He was not alone in this fight. They were all in it together, and that made all the difference. "Jack, what's next?" a friend asked, breaking into his thoughts. "What's the next big project?" He leaned back, gazing at the stars above. The ocean stretched out before them, its waves shimmering under the moonlight. "I think we should organize a series of workshops for schools," he said, feeling the excitement build within him. "We can teach kids about marine ecosystems, the challenges they face, and how they can help. If we can inspire them now, they'll become the guardians of the ocean in the future." His friends nodded enthusiastically, their eyes bright with possibility. "That's a great idea. We can even create an interactive program with activity." "Yes, and games," another friend chimed in. The conversation flowed effortlessly, ideas bouncing off one another like waves crashing against the shore. Jack felt a surge of energy as they brainstormed ways to engage the community, to foster a deeper connection with the ocean, and to inspire a new generation of marine advocates. As the bonfire crackled, illuminating their faces with a warm glow, Jack knew that this was just the beginning. They had ignited a spark of awareness that would continue to grow, fueled by their shared passion and commitment to marine conservation. The story of Mira and her cub had become a catalyst, a reminder that compassion knows no bounds, and together they could make a difference. With the sound of laughter and the warmth of friendship surrounding him, Jack felt a profound sense of peace settle within. He knew that the journey ahead would not be without challenges, but he was ready to face them head-on. The ocean was calling, and he was determined to be its voice, standing alongside his friends, community, and the countless individuals who had been touched by the story of a mother seal and her cub. As the night deepened, Jack gazed out at the ocean, the waves crashing gently against the shore, and whispered a silent promise to continue advocating for the creatures that called it home. He would carry the lessons learned from Mira and her cub, the bonds forged in the depths of the sea, and the hope that had blossomed in the hearts of those around him. Together, they would protect the ocean, ensuring that its beauty and life would thrive for generations to come. The journey was just beginning, and with unwavering determination, they would create a legacy of compassion, resilience, and love for the marine world that would echo through time. As the fire crackled and the stars twinkled overhead, Jack felt an exhilarating sense of purpose wash over him. The warmth of the flames mirrored the warmth in his heart, fueled by the camaraderie of his friends and the collective mission they had embraced.